Okay, welcome. This is Gentle Yoga for Cancer, and I'm Rebecca. And I welcome you on this beautiful, heavily pollinated spring day. I am definitely feeling it today. I don't know about others in Atlanta or anywhere else if you're feeling the pollen, but we'll do the best we can and breathe and breathe and breathe. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit about planning the road ahead. We were just speaking before the class started about surprises in COVID, not knowing, of course, that we were going to be spending the year in this way. And we're in this liminal space between what was, what has been, and what happens now. We have no roadmap to guide us. This is a time of deep discernment. We have to take time to investigate, get the facts, open our hearts, and listen to the small, still voice inside. So, how do you want to show up in this new world? What seeds are you planting to care for and grow? And what are the weeds that you're pulling before they choke out the sun? Rolf Gates, in Meditations from the Mat, said, "We grow in our capacity to do the right thing each time we do the right thing. We need only make a beginning, and that beginning will foster within us the power to move forward." So just do it, create habits, walk the walk, use momentum. But how do you prepare to take the first steps? When we can't see the road in front of us, we must proceed with some caution, but keep moving forward like those lanes on the highway that say, keep moving, keep moving. Stopping in the middle of the road is just not an option. It's not safe. Taking small steps, doing the next right thing, making mistakes, making amends, learning and growing, seeking the sun. This is the season of new growth. Pardon me. So take a moment to find a comfortable seat for some breath and meditation. You can be sitting up in a chair, preferably somewhere that either you have your feet on the ground, or if you'd like to sit cross-legged, that you can sit back and do that. And be sitting up nice and tall. If you're sitting on your mat, make sure that you have a long and tall spine. So for most of us, that means sitting up on something. I'm sitting on a cushion. You can't see it at the moment. And allow yourself to arrive in your yoga class. Taking a moment to notice the firm, comforting ground beneath you, whatever that is. Maybe it's your mat or your carpet or your floor or the seat of your chair or cushion. Feel your hands sitting in your lap. Feel the warmth from your palms into your legs or wherever your hands are resting. Take a note of the light in your room. It's oddly gray and a little sunny in here today. And then allow your eyes to close or take a soft gaze. And begin to notice what's around you. What are the textures in your space? What is the air like, the temperature? Begin to turn your attention more deeply inward to your own breath. Where do you notice the breath? Maybe at the tip of your nose or the back of your throat, or in your chest or belly. Can you follow a breath from the moment it enters the body to that sensation of filling up, expanding, the momentary pause before the exhale begins, and that sensation of release and letting go, and then the momentary pause before the next breath comes in. Just noticing without changing anything, stay with this sensation of the breath moving through, in and out, expanding, contracting, filling up, and letting go. So what is stopping us from taking care of ourselves? What stories do we tell ourselves about our choices? Whose voice do we hear? And can we cultivate patience to take one step at a time without seeing the destination clearly? Bring the breath right into heart center, feeling your heart space expand on your inhales, and gently contract on your exhales. Can we use our heart as our guiding principle? With each decision, each choice, how does this serve my heart, our hearts? Let's take 5 more breaths, filling and letting go. And at the end of your 5th exhale, release control of the breath and blink your eyes open if they're closed. We'll continue together. And I just want to say for the newer people that I'll demonstrate most of what we do, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just telling you. So listen to the words. If you're confused, just wait a moment. I'll repeat the instruction. I'll probably demonstrate. But if I stop, that doesn't mean that you need to stop. Okay? Let's come into our sun breaths. We'll inhale, allowing our arms to float up. At the top of the inhale, pause, turn the palms down, and exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, arms floating up. Just come to wherever's comfortable in your body. And exhale, release down. Beginning to connect movement and breath. So it takes the whole exhale for the arms to come down. You have to time it, right? And the whole inhale for the arms to come up. Notice how the breath informs the movement, and the movement floats on the breath. This time, reach up and pause, and we'll lower the right hand and come up and over with the left. If it's not comfortable to extend your arm, you can bend your elbow, bringing your fingertips to your shoulder or behind your head, or you can even leave your hand on your hip, whatever feels best to you. Taking a couple of breaths in the side bend to open up the side ribs, and then use an inhale to come up through center and an exhale to come up and over. And again, we'll stay for a few breaths, feeling that sensation of opening in the side body from the top of the hip all the way up to your armpit or higher. And a couple more, going side to side. This time, let's begin circling our wrists, beginning to get some movement there, going in both directions. And when you're ready, move to the other side, and again, wrist circles. And inhale up through center, release, arms down. Let's do some twist. Inhale, get nice and tall in your seat, and then bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. Inhale here, getting taller, and exhale, twist, contracting, looking towards your shoulder. Inhale through center and exhale to the other side. Inhale to grow tall and exhale to deepen the twist. And continue moving side to side, staying for a breath or two and using the breath and your muscles and the stacking of your bones to deepen the twist. Don't pull yourself around with your hands. They're just there for support. Once more to each side. And this or the next time that you come through center, pause here, hands on your knees. I'm going to come into a seated cat-cow. So as you'll inhale in place and then exhale, think about tucking your tail, drawing your belly in, letting your chin come forward, holding onto to your knees for support. And then on the inhale, roll the pelvis forward. Open up, lift your heart, lift the crown of the head. Exhale, tuck and squeeze in, release the head. Inhale, roll forward, open up, lift. A couple more like this. And again, moving with the breath. The inhale is opening and expanding, and the exhale is contracting and letting go. One more time. And come back to center and pause. I'm going to scoot back a little bit and bring my hands behind me, walking my feet out wide. If you're sitting in a chair, just walk your feet out a little bit wider, maybe sit a little closer to the edge of your chair. Inhale in place, and then exhale, begin to drop your knees from side to side. Beginning to warm up in the hips, in the knees and ankles. And then maybe slow it down and see if you can let go and have your knees drop all the way down if you're on the floor. If you're in a chair, you'll just keep moving gently from side to side. Stay with this, or if it would feel good, release your arm and reach around, coming into another kind of twist. And reach and twist. You can do this in the chair as well. And once more to each side. And coming back through center. We're going to make our way to hands and knees. If you're coming onto your knees, then please make sure that you have something underneath your knees to protect them. It can be a folded blanket or a thin cushion or something like this, so that I use a bit of a mat. If you're not comfortable on hands and knees, that's fine. Stay seated or in your chair. If you're coming onto hands and knees and being in this kind of wrist position is not good for you, then make a fist and turn your thumbs forward or come down onto your forearms. Have your hands or fists or elbows underneath your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And take a moment to find a long spine. You can do the same thing sitting, finding that long spine. And then we'll move into cat-cow here. You can repeat the seated cat-cow if you're sitting. We'll inhale, lift the tail, soften the belly, and reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, tuck the tail, draw the belly in and up, and release the head. Inhale, lift the tail, soften, open. Exhale, tuck, and draw up and in. Just a couple more like this. Really warming up the spine, moving in all directions. And then the next time you come through neutral, pause here. Extend your left leg. It can either be in front of you or behind you if you're in tabletop. And then maybe you can lift the leg, pressing it out at hip height. Right here, this takes a lot of concentration, a lot of strength. Stay with that or add the reach of an opposite arm. Holding here. And then lower your hand. Bring your leg to cross over the other leg. Turn and look towards your toes. One more side body stretch. And then come back to your starting position. Extend the right leg, toes up or down, pressing out through your heel. Maybe the leg is extending right in front of you if you're seated. Add the opposite arm if you'd like, adding balance and a little more strength. And then lower the hand and cross the leg over, finding a little side bend. Breathing in and out. And then coming back to tabletop. Let's go ahead and make our way up to standing. If you have blocks or a chair that's sturdy, handy, you can bring your hands onto your blocks and then step one foot forward and the other, and then walk all the way up to standing. Make sure you have space, moving your props out of the way. If you don't have yoga props, that's fine, but it's great to have some things that you can use for support, like a sturdy chair. Now, if I'm going to use a chair, I make sure that I put it, either it's on carpeting or there's my water, or I put it on my mat so that it's not going to slip, right? And I know my chair, I know what will happen, depending on how I use it. But chair to the side, come on up to standing, and find your mountain pose. Feet should be about hip distance apart and right underneath your hip bones. And again, you do not have to even stand for this. You can stay seated in a chair. Reach down through your fingertips. Activate your legs, lifting up your kneecaps, but make sure you don't hyperextend. If you tend to do that, keep a little bit of a bend in your knees. Draw your legs towards each other. Lift your pelvic floor, your low belly, mid belly. Open the heart, reach through the crown, and release fingertips down. Feel the strength of this mountain pose, the steadiness. Feel your feet connected to the ground. Take a moment to look in front of you and find a focal point that's kind of on your horizon line, or some people look down or further up, but something that isn't going to sway or move. We're going to move into a tree pose balancing sequence. So make sure that you have something for support if you need it. So maybe a sturdy piece of furniture, or turn and put a hand on a wall, or whatever you have available. And then find your way back into your mountain pose. Eyes on your focal point. Let's take a breath. Inhale, reach up. Palms come together. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. Do that again. Inhale and reach up. Maybe look up to your hands as they come together. Exhale, draw them to heart center. Last time, inhale up and exhale down. Beautiful. Find your mountain pose. Maybe you have a hand on something for support. And begin to press into your left leg. We're going to liberate the right, drawing the knee up, and then turn out at the hip and place the sole of your foot somewhere along the inner leg of the standing leg. So at the ankle, at the calf, or above the knee at the thigh. So don't press into your knee. Finding your position, feel the connection of foot to leg, leg to foot. Make sure you're not popping your hip or getting too off center, right? So be up and over your leg, lots of engagement. Anytime you need to come out, feel free, put a foot down, come back in. And make sure that the breath is flowing. Eyes on your focal point, drawing energy up from the ground. Feel it rise up through heart center, and then maybe you can grow some branches. Opening up, reaching, feeling that sensation of new growth, of reaching for the sun, opening up, maybe both arms. Take a breath, let it go. Feeling stable and grounded in the lower body and buoyant and open in the upper body. One more breath. And then exhale, hands to heart center, both feet down. Walk out through your legs if you need to. Shift around if you need a different position. Find your mountain pose. Maybe hands stay at heart center or one hand does. Find your breath again. Find the ground beneath your feet. Begin to press down into your right leg. Maybe you're taking extra support. Float the left leg up, turn out, and find your foot position on this side, above or below your knee. Pressing foot into leg, the leg resists, the leg gets stronger. Standing up tall. Drawing breath up from the earth, the energy rises through heart center, and then maybe branches grow. Maybe you can open up your canopy and let all those little micro adjustments happen. If you need support, you take it, bring the foot down, bring it back up. But feel the stability of the lower body, the grounding, the rootedness, and the opening, the flexibility of the upper body. The branches have to sway, right, in the breeze, or else they'd snap the trunk. One more breath, and feet down, hands to heart center. Walk it out if you need to, and come to stillness for a moment. Maybe close your eyes, feeling your connection to the earth, your connection to the sky, your connection to everything around you. And we'll move on to flying crane. And again, you can take support if you need it, hands at heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your wings out and lift your right leg. Step down, inhale to center. Exhale, wings come out, lift the left. And we'll move side to side. Inhale through center. Exhale, crane, like you're stepping up on a big step or a box. Couple more, moving side to side. And you can do this sitting as well, if that serves you better today. And next time you're in your crane, hold it. Hold it. One more breath and switch. Inhale, center. Exhale, crane, and hold. And hold. And hold. And release. Beautiful job. Excellent. I'm going to move my chair off to the side a little bit. We're going to work with some warrior two pose. So take a nice wide stance and let your legs come out to a comfortably wide position. Then turn out the top of the right leg. The whole leg turns, so the knee and toes are pointing towards the side. And then with your left leg, you're going to turn that leg in a little bit. Pressing your heel away, your foot comes forward at a little bit of an angle. Your front heel and your arch or back heel, you can decide, are in alignment. Inhale and raise your arms just to shoulder height. Exhale, Bend your front knee just until it's over the ankle and look out over front fingertips. Now you can do this on a chair. If you're in the pose, just hold it there if you can. But in a chair, if you sit towards the edge, you can come into the pose as well. One more breath. Inhale through center, turning toes to face forward, lifting up. And we'll move to the other side, turning out the left leg, walking the right toes in, pressing the heel away, arms at shoulder height. Inhale here and then exhale and come into your side warrior, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Think about drawing your legs towards each other to engage in the inner thighs, pelvic floor, lifting up. One more breath here. And then inhale, turn toes forward, hands come up. And we'll move back to the first side. So finding your warrior two. Knee is over the ankle and tracking over the middle couple of toes. Arms are out. You can always rest and bring them down and then bring them back out. Inhale here. Exhale, bend your front arm and bring your forearm to your thigh. The other arm can come up or over, whatever feels good in your body. Inhale here. Next inhale, come up through warrior two. Turn your front palm to face up. Lower the back arm to your thigh or hip, and then raise the front arm up. Maybe you look up, or maybe you look back towards your back foot. Peaceful warrior. Inhale back through warrior two. Release, straighten, and turn your toes to face forward. Excellent. One more side. Turning, toes, feet aligned. Inhale, knee over the ankle, tracking over the middle toes. Engaging in the inner body, lifting up, crown of head. Big inhale here, and then exhale, bring forearm to thigh, and reach up and over. Even here would be fine. Inhale, back through warrior two. Turn your front palm up, lower your back hand, and draw that arm up. Maybe you look up, or maybe you look down and back. Peaceful warrior. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, release. Straighten your legs, turn your toes to face forward, and carefully walk back in. Now, if you're new to class or newer, that may seem like a whole lot of stuff, but many of us have been working on this for many years together. And so don't feel frustrated. Do what feels okay in your body and you'll catch up. The more you come, the more you'll get to know these poses and where you fit into these poses, right? We work with what we have, how we're showing up on this day. So we have one more balance pose. It's a warrior three. And we're going to use, for support, either a piece of furniture like a chair, a wall, or blocks. I'm going to show, I'll demonstrate it to the chair first, and then maybe I'll switch to the blocks. So we're going to stand in front of your support. Make sure you have a little bit of distance, right? You're not right in front of it. Find your mountain pose, inhale, and get nice and tall. Lift your left leg and bring it behind you. So you're up on the ball of your foot or on your toes. Maybe you stay right here, reaching through your arms, and that's your warrior three, and that's perfect. If you'd like to come further, you can begin to hinge at your hips. Bend your standing knee and bring your fingertips to your support. Maybe your back leg can lift up a little higher. We're trying to keep our hips even. So stay right here, pressing out, or try adding the opposite arm, reaching. Keep drawing up. Make sure your standing knee is a little bit bent, pressing out, and then to come out, lower your back leg first, hands to knees, and come all the way back up. Okay, everybody all right? I hope so. I will show you on the other side how to work with your blocks. It's a little different with blocks. Standing up nice and tall, mountain pose. Right leg comes behind you. Maybe you stay right here. Or a little bend in your standing knee, begin to come forward, hinging at the hips. Maybe your leg comes up behind you, maybe not. Hands come to your blocks. And again, trying to balance the hips. Bend in that standing knee, pressing out through the other. Reach through your other arm. Getting nice and long. Only if you want to. You can stay right here or in any of the previous versions. One more breath. And then to come out, lower your leg, hands to knees, and come on up. How did you do? Walk in place, shake it out, and we're going to come back down to our bellies, well, to hands and knees first. So come on down to hands and knees and make sure that you have a pillow or stacked blankets or a bolster to work with. Grab mine. So from hands and knees position, tabletop, we're going to walk our knees a little wider, toes together, and we're going to bring our support. Maybe I have a bolster here. Maybe you have something else. And come on down onto your forearms, that's first. And then walk your elbows out, stack your hands, and rest your forehead on your stacked wrists. This is a modified version of child's pose. Hips are coming back towards your heels, and you're breathing into the back body. This is a resting pose, but for many of us, it's not at all comfortable. So stay for a couple of breaths if you like. And the next place that we're going to go is to walk hands forward. Maybe walk your knees in a little bit and bring your hips to that pillow, cushion, or bolster. Coming into Sphinx pose. We'll come down onto our forearms. And you see that the bolster is right underneath my pelvis, right? It's not under my breasts, it's not under my belly. It's right under the pelvis, and I'm up on my elbows, forearms in front of me. Keep looking down towards the floor, right? So don't crank your head. Reach through the crown of the head. Press down through your arms, draw them back, and think about moving your center of your heart forward, getting really long through the spine. Reach through the crown of your head. Walk your hands back, press up, and send your hips back, coming back into child's pose. Take a couple of breaths. And now we're going to move back and forth a few times. So get your knees sort of in the middle. Walk your hands out and inhale. Press forward. You can rest a little bit on the bolster, hands firm, or you can use knuckles or forearms again. Exhale and press back. Inhale forward and exhale back. Two more. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. And this time, walk back. And we're going to come all the way on to our backs. So coming down onto the floor, if you'd like, you can, again, stay in a chair. That's always an option. But we'll come all the way down onto our backs. I'm going to stay up, so I will be doing something different from y'all. So coming all the way down onto your back, letting your knees bend, bringing your feet to the mat. Arms can be down at your sides, hands down next to you. Take a moment or two to settle, feeling the length of your spine against the ground. Good. Wonderful. And then make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart, your knees are about hip distance apart, and your feet are close to your body. Arms are down at your sides. We're going to move into a pelvic tilt. Inhale in place and then exhale and press your low back down into the floor beneath you, flattening out the curve of the low back. It's kind of a small movement. Inhale, release that press and let that natural curve come back, maybe a slightly exaggerated. Exhale and press. So you're pressing into your feet and tilting your pelvis so that your low back can smooth out against the ground. Then moving your pelvis a little bit, inhale and reestablish the curve. So we'll do that a few times. We're rocking between the top of the pelvis, pressing down, and the tailbone lifting up. And then the reverse. The tailbone comes down and the top of the pelvis lifts up. Okay, rocking in a pelvic tilt. Beautiful. Two more. And last one. Beautiful. So we're going to work with some leg slides. And before we do that, I want you to bring your fingertips just to the inside of your hip point, so right to your low belly. Just notice, just feel the texture beneath you and love it, love it, love it. And then we're going to inhale, and when we exhale, we're going to exhale with a shh sound, like we're, shushing little kids. Okay, so inhale and exhale. Shh. One more time, inhale and exhale. Okay. Now, the next time we do this, I want you to notice the texture beneath your fingertips and notice if you feel some engagement in your lower abdominals, specifically one set of muscles called the transversus abdominis. It's like a corset that runs all the way around. And when we make that shh sound, we kind of engage that muscle. And so that's what we're looking for. So we'll do two more. Inhaling. Feel for that change underneath your fingertips. Inhaling. Feel that engagement. And then release and rest. So we're going to do some leg slides using this shh breath. So from here, knees are bent, feet on the ground, hands at your sides, or they can be on your belly if you'd like. Inhale in place. And then exhale with a shh as you're extending your left leg, sliding it out long along the mat, pressing out through your heel. Inhale with the leg extended, and then shh as you draw it back in right to your starting place. Now, when you extend the leg, it's not off the ground. You're sliding it. I know it's not that easy on a sticky mat, but maybe you can hover and then extend, but you don't have to hold the leg up. Okay, so at your starting position, inhaling, and shh as you extend the right leg. Yes, beautiful. Slide it out. Pause here for the inhale, and then exhale, shh, and draw the leg back to the starting position. Beautiful. Now take your time. We're going to move side to side. So, excuse me, one leg at a time, and you'll work with your own breath. Do 3 to each side. So inhale, shh. Inhale in place, and shh, draw it back. Yes, you've got it. So keep switching sides. 6 times total, 3 times each side. Take your time. And see if you can feel that engagement in the lower belly as you're moving your leg. The sound helps to find that sensation. Take your time. And after your third set, whenever that is, take a moment and maybe draw your knees in towards your chest. Maybe one hand on each knee or hands behind your thighs or over your shins, hugging them in. It's kind of an upside down child's pose. Rock a little bit from side to side, releasing your low back. Holding on to your left knee, bring your right foot down to the mat. Beautiful. Yes, you can keep your knee bent, or you can extend the leg long. Just going to take a couple of breaths here. As you exhale, draw your bent knee in while letting the other leg either be heavy or extend and press out through your heel. 2 more breaths. And on your next exhale, slide, if your bottom leg, not the one you're hugging in, is extended, draw it back in so the foot is on the ground. And then release your, I guess it's your left knee, release it into a figure 4 stretch. So bringing your ankle to the opposite thigh, like how you might sit cross-legged if you're a man, right? That's totally sexist, right? But yes, what you don't want to cross your legs tight. You want to have that 4, like look the number 4, right? So it's open with the ankle on top of the other thigh. Now you can stay right here if you're feeling a stretch. If you need a little bit more, then try drawing your legs towards you. You can reach your hand, maybe your arm, through that center area and grab the other leg and draw it in. Maybe you can hold your thigh or your shin. If that's too much, you can also just hold on to your bent leg. Maybe you rock a little bit side to side. Maybe if you're holding on to your bent leg, you want to extend the leg up to the ceiling. Just make sure that your bent leg is not pressing into your knee. Make sure it's above your knee. And when you're ready, release both feet down, maybe one at a time. And pause here. Walk your feet out a little bit wider towards the side edges of your mat, and let your knees just gently drop from side to side. And then we'll do the other side. Yeah, it's beautiful. And then when you're ready, walk your feet back in, hug your knees in, and then holding on, I think I said left the first time, so holding on to your right or the other one. Bring your left foot down, maybe you extend through your leg. On your exhales, draw that knee in a little tighter and releasing the other leg or extending it long. And on your next exhale, if your leg is extended, bring it back in, knee bent, foot on the floor, and then bring the other ankle to cross over that thigh, coming into that figure four stretch. If this is too much for you, then go back to something we did before, either drawing your knees in or even just resting, pelvic tilt. If this feels great, stay. If you'd like a little bit more, draw your knees towards you, maybe reaching into that space and hugging the other leg, drawing both legs towards heart center. Yeah, that looks great. If you did it on the other side and you'd like to try it, excuse me, on this side, maybe extend that bottom leg up towards the ceiling, but only if it feels good. And whenever you're ready, slowly lower one foot and then the other. Walk your feet out one more time to the wide edges of your mat and let your knees gently drop from side to side, keeping your shoulders down on the mat. And now take a minute or two to see if there's any, excuse me, if there's any other pose or movement that your body is calling out for. Maybe a happy baby or drawing your knees in once again. Maybe a twist. Who knows? What is your body asking for? Maybe you're ready to go right into Shavasana, rest pose. And when you are ready, set yourself up, maybe with pillows under your knees and a pillow under your head. Maybe lying on your side or even sitting in a comfy chair. What will your rest pose look like? You can even have your feet up on your chair if you like, whatever would feel good. And once you arrive in your Shavasana, rest pose, excuse me, take a moment to scan through your body, starting with the crown of your head and feeling the back of your head, the muscles of your face, neck and shoulders, middle body, hips, legs, feet, and toes. Notice any differences that you're aware of since the beginning of class. Maybe there's no difference. But please notice this without judgment, just with curiosity and great compassion, being aware. And then release the awareness into the softness beneath you, the release of the exhale, sinking in to the support beneath you, the opening, softening of the inhale, and again, the release of the exhale. Relax here and rest. We'll rest here for just about 5 minutes of quiet, and then we'll come back together. When problems abound, trust that solutions are rising up to meet you from the very ground of being. When needs are great, trust the abundance of the universe to fill you in surprising ways. When darkness seems impenetrable, trust light to shine, the way made plain one small step at a time. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. And when you feel ready, roll to one side and pause. And then pressing into fingertips, make your way back up to sitting, allowing your attention to stay deeply inward for just another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with one chant of Om for the community that we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join, bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other.